For contractors, there's basically 3 different ways for you to show up at the top of Google when somebody's searching for remodelers near me or some variation of that term. First, you have your Google Ads, then you have your map pack or local pack, and then finally we have the organic search results. Today, I'm gonna walk through all 3 of these options, talk about the pros and cons of each, and then just give you a basic overview of what you can be doing right now to land one of these spots so you can actually decide what's best for your business and marketing strategy as a whole. So the main pro with Google Ads is it's pretty much instantaneous that you're gonna get to the top of Google for whatever search terms that you are bidding on. It's really as simple as that. You're just gonna be setting up a Google ad campaign and you can actually bid on what keywords you wanna show up for in which target location. So it's pretty straightforward. There's tons of resources for it online, but essentially if you're wondering, how do I get to the top of Google as fast as possible? Google Ads is gonna be the fastest way to do that thing. Now, the cons of Google Ads, it's actually a little bit different than what you may be thinking. So first off, 6% of people are actually clicking on the ads at the top of the page compared to 94%, which are going towards organic, the map pack, other things that are not the actual ads themselves. The second main con of Google Ads is it only lasts as long as you're still actively paying for it. Imagine you're driving on the highway and if you stop ads, that's the same thing as you just slamming on the brakes and you immediately stop moving forward. Now, compare that to SEO, and SEO is more of like when you're driving, instead of slamming on the brakes, you actually just take your foot off the gas. So yes, eventually you're going to come to a stop, but it's gonna take a lot longer for you to slow down and it's more gradual versus a full stop immediately. So who is Google Ads best for in the remodeling space? Well, it's really gonna be for somebody who, one, has no SEO foundation whatsoever, and they wanna generate leads much quicker than waiting for SEO to get built up. The other scenario is, let's say you do have good SEO built up, but you're on the east side of town and you wanna now be on the west side of town. Well, instead of waiting for all the SEO to build up over there, again, you can just spend the money and get right to the top of Google in those areas. Some of the main pros here are, first off, when it gets triggered, about 50% of all clicks are gonna go right to those top 3 listings. It's actually being ranked above the organic search results, and it's meant to be really user-friendly, so it's meant to be set up where the actual business owner or somebody at the company can do everything that needs to be done for the Google Business Profile. Well, the number one catch with a Google Business Profile is it's super localized because they're not going to show a Google Business Profile outside of like maximum a 5-mile radius around where the business is located. Now, there are going to be exceptions where if you're in a rural area or you're in maybe a metro area, but very specific, unique industry that you're in where you don't have many competitors, then your reach is going to be a little bit more. But for the most part, it's only really going to work right around where your business is located. Let's say you live like an hour out of the major metro city that you primarily want to operate in. If you really want your Google Business Profile to show up high in that metro area, you're just going to have to bite the bullet and get an office in the town. So then that way you actually have a physical location around where you want to serve. Now, the Google Business Profile is only going to show up when somebody is typing in some search term that Google thinks, oh, they're looking for a specific business. Now, if they type in, what does it cost to remodel my kitchen? Well, Google's not thinking, oh, they want to hire somebody. They just want information. So it's not going to show the Google Business Profile. It only is going to show when it thinks, oh, this person wants a local company that they're ready to reach out to. Now, to actually get ranked on the Google Business Profile, there's a few things that you really want to do. And the first one is probably like the most important is make sure you have a fully completed and verified Google Business Profile. This also includes adding photos and videos of projects. Just like with the reviews, Google wants you to upload photos of projects you're working on consistently to show you're still working on those projects. Google allows you to set what's called a primary category for the business. This is probably the most well-known, most important factor for your Google Business Profile, so make sure you choose it wisely. They're actually going to give you a set of terms that you're able to choose these categories for. My suggestion would be just go for remodeler or general contractor. If you're a specialist and you really only do kitchens or only do bathrooms, you do have those options to set that as your primary category. but make sure you choose this one that aligns with the business, because you can still add in secondary categories, but the primary one is one of the most important ranking factors for your Google business profile. So next, work on getting reviews from clients as consistently as possible. The more, the better. It's awesome for Google to see this because they're thinking, man, we're just trying to show what's the best brand out there. And the best way to do that is to actually have people that you're working for post on your Google business profile saying they just did this project, it was awesome, and they could even show some photos of the project. That's going to go a long ways as well. And lastly, we're going to talk about the organic search part of Google. So the whole pros here, first off, is that first organic position is going to get 19 times more clicks than that first ad position. And that's really because people trust the organic section way more than they trust the paid ad section. And with this organic section, unlike the Google Map Pack or Local Pack, you can actually target the locations that you want to show up in for this organic section. And we're going to talk a little bit about how to do that in a minute. What is the downside to it? Well, the first one is this takes a very long time in comparison to Google Ads, which are instantaneous. It also requires a lot more in-depth website changes and content being added to the website to really build out a whole campaign and strategy to get these ranked in the organic section. And lastly, there's a ton of competition. So how do you actually rank here and beat everybody else and get to the top? So Google uses an algorithm, and the easiest way they put out to explain it is something called EEAT. So it's an acronym, but I'm going to walk you through what each thing stands for and what this means for you and what you should be doing. So the first E is experience. Google wants to see that you actually know your stuff. One of the best ways to do this for Google is to actually have feature project pages or pages on your website that break down different projects that you've done in different locations to prove to Google you've actually done this thing before. You're not just making it up. Now, these pages, they should dive into the actual details of the projects. You're talking about the transformation, the process, what the client was thinking, the challenges that you handled along the way, things like that. The next E is expertise. They want to showcase businesses that are truly experts in their field. And this is really where blogging comes in. So blogging is super powerful SEO tool because it lets you show off your expertise and keeps your website fresh and new in Google's eyes. Think of each blog post as kind of like an opportunity to answer the exact questions that your prospects are having, whether it's remodeling costs or design trends or project timelines, things like that. And when you're consistently publishing content that's useful and informative, you're not just helping prospects, you're also sending super strong signals to Google that you're active, you're credible, and you're relevant. And over time, this positions your website as like the go-to resource in your niche, like what service you do in this specific area, which overall is going to boost your authority in the eyes of Google and help you rank way better. Which leads us into our A, which stands for authoritativeness. Authority is all about being trusted and respected in the community, in the industry. Google's looking for signals that other people trust you, whether it's local media, online directories like a Chamber of Commerce, or positive client reviews. These are going to tell Google really like, hey, this business is respected, it's established, and it's worth showing to other users. So the more people that are actually Googling your brand by name, the better. And last is trustworthiness. Google doesn't want to just put any business at the top. They need to know that you're credible and you're reliable. Trustworthiness is all about proving to both Google and clients that your business really is the real deal. To do this, again, focus on client testimonials, transparent contact information on the website, and having a website that is safe and secure for people to use. The more information that you share about your team, explaining your process, and just showcasing those reviews all over the website are going to help tremendously. So now if you're looking at all three of these things going, well, which one do I do first? Well, first off, the Google Business Profile is going to be a great one because this is you can do this on your own, right? You can hire somebody else for accountability, and maybe we're going to be a little bit better, but truth be told, this is meant to be something that you can handle in-house because you know your clients that you can get reviews from. You have photos on your phone or on your camera that you can upload. So make sure that your Google Business Profile, spend a few hours, outfit the whole thing, optimize it, and you can get at least 90% of the way there on your own. the organic side of things is going to be the next place that I'm definitely looking, unless you're in a spot where you have to get leads in the door right now. If that's the case, then it's really going to be setting up Google Ads that gets your keywords to the top. But remember, with Google Ads, you're going to get a lot more volume through, but it may not be nearly as high quality because they're not going through the same nurturing that somebody who is reading all this blog content about pricing and timelines and options are. So you really need to make sure that whatever you're going with, you're testing it out, so you're not just spending a ton of money with Google Ads with zero return without even like watching the game film to figure out, is this the best solution moving forward? If you want to learn more about this stuff, especially on the organic side of things, there's a longer podcast that we talked about, yes, AI and SEO and things like that, but realistically, like the first half of this podcast is more about the fundamentals associated with how do you get found organically in Google, and that's a super important one to understand, and it's not really going to change that much going forward.